Hi, Chuck Hawley with a 2-minute buyer's guide on fuel additives. If you're looking at the marine press recently, you see an awful lot of concern over the use of ethanol in fuels and various problems with diesel fuel. So in this very brief video, we're going to talk a little bit about what you might look for in a fuel additive. The first question you've got to ask yourself is, do I have a diesel or a gasoline-powered engine? That's because the fuels have distinct, different problems they're trying to solve. Now, one of the main problems with diesel is that you can get a biological layer between the fuel and the water that collects in the bottom of the tank. The best way to prevent this, of course, is to get the water out of your tank. But if you have biological growth, you'll want to use something like a biobor or a similar product that is a biocide that will kill that growing layer. Now, that doesn't mean it takes it out of your tank, but it does mean that it kills it and allows it to go into your filters, where it'll grab in your filters and you can replace your filters and clean out your tanks. And incidentally, if you have a big problem with that, with lots of water, you might consider having a professional fuel polisher come and work on your system. The second issue that we run into is ethanol-related problems. Ethanol, because it's a hygroscopic chemical, tends to pull the moisture that's in your tank, in the air in your tank, out of it, and it eventually goes into what's called phase separation. Phase separation is something that no product can cure, but the best way to keep the ethanol from causing phase separation is to keep your fuel tanks full and to use a product like this Startron enzyme fuel treatment. This will keep the water in solution for as long as possible, and it'll pass harmlessly through your engine. Or possibly a product like this BioBor EB. This will also tend to reduce the chance of phase separation. Ethanol has another problem associated with it, and that's the fact that ethanol tends to be such a good solvent that it will cause corrosion in the internal workings. And both of these products will work to reduce corrosion inside your engine. The third issue you have to deal with is that fuel more and more, especially gasoline, goes sour in 60 to 90 days. And what this means is that the chemical properties of the fuel change while it's just sitting in your tank, and it works worse and worse and worse, and then eventually forms deposits. That's where a product like Stabil fuel treatment can help you. Stabil is designed to stabilize your fuel so that you can, with just a few ounces added to most tanks, you can have fresh fuel after as long as a year. And incidentally, Startron has some of the same properties. So if you're looking for a way to keep your fuel fresh, use a fuel stabilizer. Now, there are a whole bunch of other problems that fuel additives claim to fix. Octane enhancers, cetane enhancers, corrosion inhibitors, lead replacements. There are a whole variety of chemicals available on the market. So if you have a specific problem like carbon buildup, you'll want to use a product that's designed to solve carbon buildup. So whatever your problem is, you'll be able to find a fuel additive that solves it. If you go online to the West Marine website, you'll find over 45 different fuel additives. So this is an area where it gets pretty darn complicated. But if you stick with those basic concepts, you'll be well served. First of all, pick one whether it's gas or diesel. Pick one whether you're trying to solve a biological problem in a diesel tank. If you have some ethanol problems, you might go for an ethanol specialty product. If you have a fuel storage problem, you'll want to look at a stabilizer. And finally, if you have a number of discrete other issues, look for products that solve those specific issues. All these products are available throughout our chain of stores and online at westmarine.com.